Hello, welcome to Glash Games. This video will cover my current project, Gamma. Gamma is a roguelike arcade and the space shooter where you level up, choose an upgrade to get stronger, but the enemies grow with you as well, and this whole thing repeats. It's a very simple idea that I took inspiration from games like Galaga and Space Invaders. I gave Gamma the name Gamma because of three reasons. It's the third prototype of a game that I'm trying to make. It follows the alpha beta release line that a lot of popular games use, and then the Greek alphabet alpha beta gamma, so it's the third one in line. After that, it's just because it's in space and there's a lot of gamma radiation in space, and I feel like that's fair enough. So in this video, we'll talk about the alpha versions of gamma, some of the things I learned, what went right, and of course what went wrong. To start, let's take a look at the first ever version of Gamma. This is the version I gave to the group of playtesters, and what they found was a lot of bugs, some problems, and also some good. So first of all, some of the problems were just like the screen was blurry when full screen, there was bad names for the upgrades, there were also no animations either. And then again, there are bugs everywhere, such as waves not being reset, so it would just get harder and harder. But your upgrades also didn't reset, so I mean, it's kind of fair. Um, but like, what went right? Because that sounds like a whole lot of bad. Well, playtesters really liked the upgrade system and liked the fact that there were like turbo boosters, which is basically just the um, the normal upgrades but better. Um, Overall, people liked the idea. I liked the idea, and it's overall just fun to make. But everything is just so bare bones to the point where the quality is what I expect of like proof of concept. It's pretty bad. So this is the next update, Gamma 0.0.2. This update addresses the bugs found in the latest version while changing quite a bit. Some of those changes include XP orbs now being XP triangles. I did this to help with color blindness because my father is colorblind. And also, it just looks better, in my opinion. It gives it more character. I changed the upgrade names that were bad. I also made upgrades give better stat increases because people felt like they were always falling behind. I also made special sprites for each one because in the previous one you can tell that it was kind of messy. Enemies changed quite a bit as well. I also added one in terms of like scaling and stuff, and just like other visual cleanup. One of the biggest visual cleanups was the Gamma logo. If we can get a side by side, you can kind of see the old one is a lot more melancholy and sad looking. The new one is more bright, more fun. It also resembles more of a actual gamma ray, which is pretty cool. And there were also like a lot of other smaller changes. The main thing I added to this was animations. So like for ships, they all have like a thruster animation and a hit animation. XP triangles, they like blink just to give you some more attention to it. And of course, bullets because they looked terrible as being stagnant. So, how did the playtesters react to this version? Well, truthfully, I don't know. Instead of having a one-on-one interview that I had for the first version, I had them take a Google form. This was one of the worst mistakes of my life. I'm gonna be real. Instead of getting useful information, we have things like they look nice, although it's weird when they fade into each other, and I feel like they should maybe fade in from white because actually I don't know. Another one is cool. I like the item texture at drops point item thing, and probably my favorite one of them, cheeked up rockets and a Zen themed level with Vortigons and better rocket ship smoke thing animations. Not very useful. However, I did end up getting some useful information, such as the particles that looked terrible from the ships and bullets needed to go. So now we're on the final version of the alphas in Gamma. This version mainly just focused on polishing everything. I think it's a good update to have, and now it's more ready for beta in my opinion, because everything else was kind of just like meshed together and held with hot glue, maybe some Gorilla Glue. I made some changes. The main one was that I made bullets into laser beams because it's a little bit more spacey in my opinion. And of course, I had to change like sharp bullets, powerful gunpowder, that sort of stuff. Um, so how did people react to this update? Because that's what I was really interested in. Good. People reacted relatively well to this. Of course, there was a lot less meaningful change. It was more of just a squeak. It was the wax on a bald head, if you know what I'm talking about. However, I also learned that I have so much more to do. You can tell that it's an alpha, and that's fine. But now in beta, I have a lot more to do, and that's also fine. I really enjoy this process. So, what is the TLDR? The what went wrong? The what did I learn? Well, the main thing that I would say what went wrong is I was personally expecting the versions to be perfect. Absolutely no bugs. Everyone would like everything about it. Basically, for the first version of the game to be the final version of the game. People obviously didn't do that. We already talked about the problems that happened. But that's okay. That is. The main thing I did wrong was, of course, assuming that everything would be perfect. That and not looking for bugs, because there were bugs. Lots and lots of bugs. Anyhow, I figured that this would be a fun video to make, just for, just to show people what I'm working on instead of it being in my hard drive for a long time. But yeah, for the beta updates, I plan on doing a per update devlog sort of deal. So instead of having a retrospective sort of deal, it's going to be this is what I've been doing. This is how people reacted. This is probably what I'm going to do next. This is how I'm going to build off of it, etc. But I'll also have to record everything so it isn't like just having gameplay in the background. Maybe that's fine. I kind of want to keep this unedited and everything, but I'm rambling. I'm doing a lot of rambling. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, it's me like 2 days after recording the original voiceover. Let me know if I should do more retrospective videos. Maybe just keep it to per update videos. Maybe do a little bit of both. Maybe not do the update videos and just do retrospectives. Let me know.